Yeah, I've got something special for you today. I'm going back to flat Earth. I recently I was going through my previous videos and stuff, saw my flat Earth thing, and I was wondering if I put what I was working on in those videos, if I put a link to that in the description of any of those videos, and I figured out that I did, so I decided to go back to it and see what piques my interest. Um, yeah, see if there's something though that I want to do a video on. And there is actually. Um, let's see. It was like a flat Earth discussion board thing. I think it's called a debate board. It takes a while to load up. I'll show you what's out right now. Um, it's it's not really. It takes time. So while it's loading up, how's everybody doing? It takes a while because this is like a collection of videos and memes and stuff. It's a lot of data. But it's worth it. If you've seen any of my other flat Earth videos, yeah. Uh, See if I can see what this says again. Let's see how far I can zoom out. That's the limit though, but look at all this. Yeah, there's a lot more here. Wow. I forgot how much there was. What I'm gonna do right now is the full moment. The section I'm gonna do is the full moment, the infinite plane. This is 7. As soon as it all loads up, I'm gonna zoom into to it and check out everything that's there. Yeah, it takes a while. I mean, I could probably I'm gonna slowly zoom. Looks like there are a couple of videos here. There's one. Look at that. Hold on. There's a meme here first, it looks like. Two things. Okay, let's see what these say. What are the measurements of the flat earth? Radius, circumference, etc. And the former moment. Also, please provide the evidence and methodology used by flat earthers to arrive at those measurements, if they exist. And here's a reply from Kyle, but everything hasn't loaded in yet, so you can't really see it because, okay, here we go. We don't have any. No one that I am aware of has found the edge of the world. This is why there are infinite plane flat earthers out there. Wow. Okay, let's zoom back out. Okay, wait. The infinite plane. Okay, you can zoom into this. Okay, let's watch this. Wait. Okay. Oh, this is something from okay. Okay, this is for the Milo website. It's okay. No problem. Okay, let's watch this and check it out. Oh. Okay, I made most tech issues. I did not add. Damn it. Okay, let's see if we can do this again.
There are two kinds of flat earthers out there. There are those who believe in a firmament that covers the entire earth, and there are those who don't. Those who don't frequently believe in an infinite plane, a terrestrial plane that extends on forever. They still generally accept the flat earth map. They just believe there is infinitely more to it, extending out past Antarctica. Many of them have maps, ancient or modern, depicting lands out beyond Antarctica. Many find a connection with that.
Yeah, I know that, Sean Hawkins. I'm just going through this flat earth debate board to see what they say about it. I am not a flat earther. I'm just going through this to see what they say about it.
And then find meaning in ancient Asian imagery. Mandalas like these are said to represent the cosmos.
And I know I'm going to get copyright struck for this. I mean, even though it's publicly available, I know I'm going to get copyright struck for it. But there's going to be a copyright claim. I mean, I don't think I'm going to get struck, but I think I'm going to get copyright claimed for it. But I don't care. I'm going to go through it anyway. I can't get copyright struck because I'm not saying it's mine. It's not mine, actually, but it's publicly available.
Both spiritually and geographically. A very well-decorated U.S. Navy admiral by the name of Richard E. Byrd once claimed to have visited lands out beyond the South Pole.
Our guest tonight found out whether there was any land north of the North American continent. He made that first discovery flight, and I must say that Admiral Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans. Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole, because it's getting crowded up there now, because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
This is a tremendous
So
challenge.
there's a lot of adventure.
No places bigger than that are unexplored. I mean, aren't there places in the Amazon rainforest that are way bigger than that is unexplored? I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's true. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Admiral, do you hope to see that?
I do.
According to Wikipedia, Admiral Byrd was one of the most highly decorated officers in the history of the United States Navy. He is probably the only individual to receive the Medal of Honor, Navy Cross, Distinguished Flying Cross, and the Silver Life-Saving Medal. He also was one of a very few individuals to receive all 3 Antarctic Expedition medals for expeditions prior to the Second World War. Admiral Byrd is really well known in the Flat Earth community because many believe he actually visited one of these mysterious lands out past Antarctica. Both infinite plane flat earthers and many firmament believers share an interest in Admiral Byrd because of his involvement.
Is still another video of Admiral Byrd describing one of these places? Or a video of one of these places? I mean, I know that was a long time ago, but there was video and video cameras and stuff. And for something that important, you'd think you'd want to bring a video camera to one of those places and see what's there. I mean, it's an it would be of vital interest to everybody.
Involvement in Operation High Jump and Operation Deep Freeze. There was a lot of money and manpower dumped into these missions. So much so that a great many flat earthers and globe earthers alike speculate that there was an ulterior motive. The Operation High Jump task force alone included 4,700 men, 13 ships, and 33 aircraft. These seamen were ready for battle. It was an armada. When MGM decided to make their documentary about Operation High Jump, they could not have picked a more fitting title. According to the book, Americans in Antarctica, which was published by the New York American Geographical Society, Operation High Jump's objectives were training personnel and testing equipment in frigid conditions, determining the feasibility of establishing, maintaining, and utilizing bases in the Antarctic, and investigating possible base sites, as well as learning about the area and improving their practices and procedures in those kind of frigid conditions. Operation Deep Freeze was a return mission where they went back and explored the area further and conducted further scientific experiments.
Yeah.
How many people have received a Medal of Honor, the highest and most prestigious award in the U.S. military, for a training mission, let alone become one of the most highly decorated officers in the history of the United States Navy? Some say there's a lost high-tech civilization living.
It's still proof that he got the Medal of Honor just for that mission, and if so, it could be for a number of reasons. Whatever, dude. It's
living out beyond the ice or under it. It is said that Hitler himself expressed a deep interest in that region and therein discovered UFO-like technology.
Newly released documents and deathbed confessions from scientists involved in top-secret Nazi development paints a picture of a race to develop a supercraft, codenamed Die Glocke, or the Bell, which would have changed the face of history forever. In fact, the idea of the Nazis developing a flying saucer wasn't such a crazy idea at all. They had for years been at the cutting edge of aircraft design, with early prototypes for vertical takeoff jets and even fixed wing and stealth technology.
yeah.
German engineers were and still are among the very best in the world.
if they set their hearts and minds on developing, whether it was an aircraft or a submarine or anything new.
Yeah, how the Germans, the Nazis, fucking even had the nuclear reactor. It failed, but I think they were actually trying to make nuclear material to make the nuke before us. I mean, it's not unheard of. German engineers are awesome. But this Bell thing never came to fruition, and neither did the nuclear bomb that the Nazis tried to create.
And unusual and superior to what they considered to be their opponents, then I believe it was within their capabilities that there were some very strange, very unusual experimental Nazi aircraft in the air before the war ended.
All indications are that Nazis were ahead of all of the Allied nations in terms of technology. First-hand accounts tell us that from as early as the 20s and 30s, their technology far outstripped anything else on the planet.
Then why did they lose? They lost. The Nazis lost the Second World War, okay? Whatever, man. This is weird. It's cool, though.
If there is a firmament,
It's interesting to see how these people think.
does it touch down in Antarctica? Or does it touch down beyond it? We'll talk more about the firmament in Lesson 7, Part 2. Thank you for watching.
Beyond it. The firmament. Okay, I want to know about this. I want to know what they think about this firmament thing. Hold on. Okay, next. I was Skibo. Okay, Sean Hawkins, are you still there? And I don't know why I thought of this, but are you Sean Hufford and not Hawkins? Or does Hawkins, like, I don't know. Sorry. I don't know why I thought about Sean Hufford. I don't think he'd be a fan of mine. Hold on. Hunter. Okay. I'll just check this out. Cool. Sweet. Okay, I was just checking notifications on my phone. I was Cuba's flat Earth model. Oh man. I actually have to watch it. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Why not?
Many people discovering the flat earth have turned back to religion, but a lot of people are not with the model that I have found personally for me to be the one that works, which is the dome/firmament. I don't want to push that view on anybody who's within the flat earth community. Everyone makes up their own mind and perhaps can change their mind as new information is presented. But with that, a lot of people want the endless plane model to be more further explored, but that doesn't really jibe with the biblical model. A lot of people think that the dome model is very limiting, and it's a cake plate that I've heard said put over the earth, keeping us enclosed as if we are.
The firmament is in the Bible. What are you talking about?
Science experiment. I don't see it really that way. I kind of see it as being that we're being maybe protected and watched. What's your take on that, Rob?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've heard the various arguments. It's kind of interesting to see the, in Christianity, unfortunately, there's a lot of infighting because everybody gets dogmatic about a certain, the pre-trib rapture, it's post-trib rapture, it's this, it's that, and you're a heretic if you don't believe the way I do, So unfortunately, Christianity has been known for that all too well. But I'm seeing sort of the same types of things happening in the.
Yeah, it is. It's sad, but whatever. I want to see what they think. I want to truly check out what they believe and how they think. I'm not a flat earther myself, and whatever. By the way, if you like what I do, you can subscribe. There are other links in the description. If you would like to donate to me, my PayPal link is in the description. So is my Discord link. And Twitter, and there are other links in there. You can check them out. There's my Facebook link is in there too. In fact, I can go on Discord right now, and if you go onto my Discord, you can be involved in the discussion if you want to. Okay. Let's continue.
The so-called flat Earth community, where you've got the infinite plane people, you got the concave people, you got it's the roulette model people, versus the dome people. Everybody's sort of got their own take on it, and unfortunately, they're not calling everybody a heretic and stuff like they do in Christianity. They're just saying you're a shill, you must be part of the a psyop, whatever. But they're doing the same thing, and I'm saying, guys, stop it. Just stop, right? Let's come together like rational human beings and talk this stuff out, because I don't believe any of us have it all figured out. We don't have it 100%. My take on it is, of course, I'm coming at it from the biblical worldview. In no uncertain terms, describes a firmament over us, that it is enclosed, and it's not just the biblical worldview. It is the worldview of the ancient population of the world. They all had some. The details varied.
And technically, you kind of can say it's enclosed. Not by a solid dome object. It's enclosed by the atmosphere.
A little bit. But they had the same concept of what the Bible calls the firmament. And it calls it the firmament because it's firm. It is this thing that's over us. Like I showed you earlier, the Egyptians had the sky goddess Nut that depicted it, but they weren't the only ones. Many ancient cultures had the same concept. This is a page that I created on my site, testingtheglobe.com. If you go to the More Resources tab and then scroll down to where it says Enoch's Dome World, and I'm a visual person, so I need to depict it so I can kind of wrap my head around it. So I did a video on it. Of course, we talked about this one already, this diagram here.
That's cool. I'm sure other people will watch the replay and stuff, so I don't care who sees it though. I'm not just doing this for myself, but I kind of am.
This is what the ancient world believed is basically the snow globe. So what I tried to do is take the various descriptions that we see in the ancient text and create a 3D model that fits as many of the descriptions that I could find.
The ancients had no idea what was going on. They may have been intelligent and smart for their time, but they had no real idea what was going on.
And this is what I came up with. Now, this is it completely enclosed. I scroll down here and do a cutaway of it. So basically, Genesis says a firmament shows up that separates waters above from waters below. So effectively what you end up with is a bathysphere. basically, a pocket of air inside a metallic dome, separate.
And there's water in space, apparently. That's pretty much what it says. I mean, that's probably what he's gonna say right now.
Water above from water beneath, and inside that pocket, a circle was carved or inscribed on the face of the deep, and that becomes your circular flat Earth, basically inside the dome, within which on day 4 the sun and moon and stars were placed. But there are other scriptures that talk about the storehouses of the deep. So I've got these kind of compartments here. Like I just envision it like as an enclosed system.
And also in the biblical model, light existed before a light source. That's impossible.
And this gold plate on top is the floor of the throne room of God, because the scripture says that his throne is on the circle of heaven. You got the circle of earth, but then you have the circle of heaven. He walks on the circle of heaven. So I depicted a circular floor, basically, here, and it says that the earth is his footstool. Now, we consider, biblically speaking, the word earth comes from the Hebrew word eretz in Hebrew, which just means land. But even in the globe model, we call all of this earth. We don't just call the land earth. We call the clouds, the atmosphere, the water, the whole ball earth. So in other words, the whole ball system we call earth. So I thought, well, if I applied that same mentality to this system, then this whole system becomes earth. So
well, let's see. Let's see if we can take a closer look at that. I think I can zoom in. You think? I can zoom in a little bit. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, God damn it. I think I have to start it over. Fuck.
Many people
I do. Hold on. I think it's... Uh-oh. Crap. Where was I? I have to watch. Start over again.
I've heard the various arguments. It's kind of interesting to see the, in Christianity, unfortunately, there's a lot of infighting because everybody gets dogmatic about a certain, the pre-trib rapture, it's post-trib rapture, it's this, it's that, and you're a heretic. TheGlobe.com, if you go to the More Resources tab and then scroll down to where it says Enoch's Dome World, and I'm a visual person, so I need to they weren't the only ones. I mean, many ancient cultures had the same concept. This is a page that I created on my site, testingtheglobe.com. If you go to the More Resources tab and then scroll down to where it says Enoch's Dome World, and I'm a visual person, so I need to depict it so I can kind of wrap my head around it. So I did a video on it. Of course, we've talked about this one already, this diagram here.
But your eyes deceive you all the freaking time. And you have a blind spot in your eyes.
This is what the ancient world believed is basically the snow globe. So what I tried to do is take the various descriptions that we see in the ancient text and create a 3D model that fits as many of the descriptions that I could find. And this is what I came up with. Now, this is it completely enclosed. I scroll down here and do a cutaway of it. So basically, Genesis says a firmament shows up that separates waters above from waters below. So effectively, what you end up with is a bathysphere, basically, a pocket of air inside a metallic dome, separating water above from water beneath. And inside that pocket, a circle was carved or inscribed on the face of the deep, and that becomes your circular flat Earth, basically inside the dome, within which on day 4 the sun and moon and stars were placed. But there are other scriptures that talk about the storehouses of the deep.
But there was light before the stars.
So I've got these kind of compartments here. I just envision it as an enclosed system. And this gold plate on top is the floor of the throne room of God, because the scripture says that his throne is on the circle of heaven. You got the circle of earth, but then you have the circle of heaven. He walks on the circle of heaven. So I depicted a circular floor, basically here, and it says that the earth is his footstool. Now, we consider, biblically speaking, the word earth comes from the Hebrew word aret.
That's actually that's a good question. Who created it and who maintains it? And technically, in a cedar, we are enclosed, but not by a solid object. And Earth is not a closed system. In science, there's certain kind of systems, and one of them is closed, and we're not a closed system. If there was a dome, a physical, solid dome, we would be a closed system, but we're not.
That's in Hebrew, which just means land. But even in the globe model, we call all of this earth. We don't just call the land earth. We call the clouds, the atmosphere, the water, the whole ball earth. So in other words, the whole ball system we call earth. So I thought, well, if I applied that same mentality to this system, then this whole system becomes earth. So it says the earth is his footstool. I've got a little bit of the dome coming up out above the floor. And if you imagine, let's say, his throne right here, then this would, I'm taking a literal view, just taking the text and literally trying to conceptualize what it said. What did the ancients believe when they wrote this? What was in their head when they wrote these descriptions? And, I don't know what was in their head, but this was what was in my head when I read what they wrote. So I imagine this being the floor with four corners, because you have the four angels on the four corners of the earth system. And the book of Enoch identifies the four angels that are standing there. I think I wrote it in here somewhere, what their names are specifically. Anyway, Enoch names them. So I imagine these are the four corners. This is the circle of heaven. Thrones right here. The top of the dome sticking out is literally...
No, this is a person named Rob Skiba. I'm not familiar with this person, but this... Yeah, it says it right up there. Rob Skiba's flat earth model. Yeah, I don't know who this Rob Skiba guy is. He did I think he did an experiment in the Chicago skyline thing. But from what I hear about that, he was dishonest about it.
His footstool. Then you have the waters above, the waters beneath. The heavens, the windows of heaven were opened, which caused the great flood. Well, if you can imagine the water level being all the way up, and then basically portals opening up and filling up the bathtub, that's what caused the flood. That wouldn't empty all the waters above. They would just put a little bit of the waters above into the bathtub here. So how do you get rid of it? Because there's water beneath. Well, I figured it had to have been siphoned off into the storehouses of the deep. Maybe that's why they're there. So that's why I've got these compartments here, which after the bathtub here was emptied, the water could just go into here because it's not up here anymore. I don't know if I'm describing that as well as it is in my...
Damn. That sucks. I'll just keep it out of COVID. No, that does suck, man. That's fucked up, man. Sorry for his family.
My head, but it makes sense in my head. I'm not sure if I'm articulating it well. So anyway, continuing, if I continue to cut that away, we also have descriptions of the earth being set up on pillars. Now, here's the scripture talking about the storehouses of the deep. That's in Psalms 33:7. But we also see in 1 Samuel 2:8, for instance, for the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. So you've got the pillars idea. And I depicted the pillars as having sort of like shock absorbers here. This would make it possible for him to, if he got mad, he could thump it with his foot, shake it up a bit if he wanted to, but it wouldn't shake.
He could thump it with his... Oh my god.
take it, because it says in other places that the earth is not movable. In other words, it won't be moved off of the pillars. It's set on the pillars, and you're not going to knock it off the pillars. You can shake it up, though, if you wanted to. So here's cutting it away a little bit more. You'd see that the general idea right here. And to your point, this does bring God a lot closer. He's not this invisible thing way out in another dimension, somewhere out in the bazillions of galaxies out there that's very impersonal. If this model is true, then this is Christoph in the Truman Show.
But it's not true, so it's not that.
He's right there, looking down on us, and we look like grasshoppers to him, according to the book of Isaiah. As he looks down on the circle of the earth. This makes it very intimate, very safe also. He's got it all under control. As the song says, he's got the whole world in his hands, right? There's nothing in here that's going to hurt us, Nibiru and all that stuff. And what was interesting is after
Man, I wish I had clips ready of George Carlin and stuff like that. That would be funny.
Created this, somebody sent me a picture of a footstool, and I freaked because the picture they sent me looks very close to the picture I had already created. And quoting the scripture Isaiah 66:1, where it says that the earth is my footstool. It even has these ridges right.
Yeah, I know, it is weird. Apparently, Eve wasn't necessarily the first woman. The first woman apparently was a woman named Lilith, and she wouldn't submit to Adam. Adam would, and God cursed her for it. That's where we get the term lullaby, Lilith by. It's an attempt to ward off Lilith, because Lilith became a succubus.
Right here, carved into the woodwork of the footstool, which look almost identical to the design that I came up with, just kind of off the top of my head. So is that the way it really is? I don't know. I'm just trying to conceptualize what the ancient texts say. But when I had a conversation on Facebook with Matt Boylan, he's one of the infinite plane guys. He believes that basically like an egg crate, you've got all these circles where there's these worlds, and if we go past the outer rim of Antarctica and keep going, then we'll find another circle world out there, and it just keeps going on and on. And his argument against this was, well, you have a very small God, if that's the case. If this is all there is, well, you have a small God. And I said, well, what if this isn't all? This is all we're told about, but what if there's another one of these right next to us, or over here? I mean, what if there's an infinite plane of these boxes? And the reason I would even suggest that might be possible.
Isn't that going into a multiverse theory? I mean, and it's possible, but it's... what he's saying, no. I don't know. What he's saying is not possible. The multiverse theory is possible, but not how he's trying to explain it.
Is because Jesus made an interesting statement in John chapter 14. He said, in my Father's house are many mansions. Well, the Greek word just simply means dwelling places. So, what if this is just the floor in one room of the Father's house, wherein there are many dwelling places? There could be lots of these out there. But apparently, whatever the case may be, they're not for us to know about, if they are there.
That's his model of the earth, isn't it? Jesus' Father is God. And God's place is in heaven. But he's passing this off, or trying to pass this off, as the model of the earth. Am I the only one confused here about what is this? Is this model of the earth or heaven? I don't know.
But they could be being prepared for us, because we also see in 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9, but it is written, eye hath not seen nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to put myself in this mindset, that's all. I know there's no God. I'm just trying to channel this guy for a second to see if I can put myself in his shoes and think how he thinks.
Them that love him. Who knows what's out there? I'm thinking this is a really impressive deal. If this is the way it really is, that's a pretty amazing, barring all the damage that we've done to this place, you have to admit, if you've done any traveling and seen the world, it's a beautiful place, aside from what man has done to it. What if there are lots of these beautiful places being prepared? All of a sudden, this is not just a place of protection, but it's a beautiful terrarium that a loving God created for his creation that he wants to have fellowship with. I think that's just amazing, personally.
A terrarium, like, or pets. That's was a point to scale people into submission. It's possible. That's how it leads to me. I haven't read the entire Bible, but the stories I know about, yeah, that's what it seems like.
The whole idea of what you've just said has really filled me with happiness, actually, because the dome firmament theory that I find resonates with me, and the way other people feel that there is a sort of endless plane, and those would be individually domed as well. So pretty much everybody can have the belief that they feel in their heart resonates with them the most. So, this should end all the fighting in the flat Earth community about the dome or the endless plane, just with what you said right there, Rob.
One single dome with... one single infinite plane with multiple domes? Is that what she said? Hold on. Let's go back. See if that's what she said.
What you've just said has really filled me with happiness, actually, because the dome firmament theory that I find resonates with me, and the way other people feel that there is a sort of endless plane, and those would be individually domed as well. So pretty much everybody can have the belief that they feel in their heart resonates with them the most. So this should end all the fighting in the...
That's exactly what she said. Infinite plane with multiple domes.
Flat Earth community about the dome or the endless plane, just with what you said right there, Rob.
I hope so. The only problem with this would be, for somebody like Matt, he believes, we need to book a trip to Antarctica and an expedition and just start walking. Or riding, snowmobiles, or getting in vehicles and keep going, because he believes you're gonna eventually reach the other world. The problem with the dome world is, no, you're gonna reach the edge of the Truman Show. Maybe you could look through it and see to another world over the other way. Who knows if that's true? I don't know, but if the enclosed model is true, then there's no contact with the other worlds. That's not going to happen. But this is making me think about the whole CERN deal as well as the space program. And when you read about NASA thinking about, hey, let's get rid of the Van Allen belts, which is frightening, because they acknowledge the Van Allen belts, assuming they are what we are told they are, that they are there for our protection. And yet they're saying, yeah, they're kind of a nuisance. They're making it very problematic for us to get through it. So let's just get rid of it. That's not going to be a good thing. Even in the spinning heliocentric globe model, there appears to be this thing designed to keep us in here.
No. There was not a thing designed to keep us in here. The only thing that's close is gravity, and it's not designed, and it doesn't keep us in. We've been shooting rockets into space since the 50s. It's, well, if not us, it's other countries. I mean,
but anytime you tell humans you're stuck in a cage, well, we're going to try to get out. And that appears to be, to me, what's going on with the alleged space program is, if you look at what happened in the 1950s.
I wonder if people bumped their domes into other domes. Funny.
With Antarctica and Admiral Byrd and him going down there and Operation High Jump and then Deep Freeze. And then after Deep Freeze, all of a sudden everybody pulls out and signs the Antarctic Treaty. And then all of a sudden NASA's formed, I think the same year. And then the first thing that the United States and Russia do is start blowing off nuclear bombs in the atmosphere, and they called it Operation Fishbowl. So, I mean, if you're trying to avoid a conspiracy, you're certainly not helping with the timeline events and the names you're calling the operation, and Starfish Prime and all this stuff. It looks to me
only idiots would draw that conclusion from those names. I mean, I agree the names are weird, but that's not what they're implying with those names. Sorry.
Me, if I wanted to put a flat Earth conspiracy hat on, that they found the edge of the dome in Antarctica and they thought, how high does this thing go? They started testing it and probing it with nuclear bombs. And when they realized it's not that high up, they wanted to go touch it, see if we could get up there. And then you have the Apollo program, which allegedly beat the Russians in the space program. But the Russians just gave up? Really? No. If you do the research.
No, actually, technically, the Russians won the space race when they launched Sputnik. And we just beat them to the moon. We didn't win the space race. We were just the first ones on the moon.
You'll see that Russia sent, I think, 36 expeditions down to Antarctica while we were doing the alleged Apollo program. So, it looks very interesting. Like, what are they doing? It has all the appearance of we just found out we're in a cage and we want out. And if we can't get out by force of arms, well, then maybe we'll just try to get out interdimensionally and see if we can rip a hole in this thing, with CERN. That's what it appears.
That's not what CERN was created for. I'm pretty sure CERN was created so that we would know more about the origin of the universe. High impact collisions to hopefully create conditions that were there during or slightly after the Big Bang. We've already found the Higgs boson. And who knows what else? I mean, you never know what those things CERN has or will find out about the origin of the universe.
Maybe I've watched too many sci-fi movies. I don't know.
Yes, you have, Rob. You have watched way too many sci-fi movies.
But that's man's natural reaction to, I'm in a cage, I want out. Even though this is a very, like Mark Sergeant says, this is a beautiful cage. I mean, if I'm in a cage, okay, I can't do anything about it either way. So, but I could enjoy it. I mean, this is a really nice place. We'd stop messing it up.
Enjoying it and respecting whomever built it.
Okay, that was that. I think I want to make the next observations of the firmament. Ooh. Okay, now we actually get to see it. Holy shit. Alright, let's do this. What the hell? Let's make this video the last video though. I want to see it. Okay, the firmament. Let's see if we actually get to see it. I doubt it.
The hardest thing for many people to believe concerning the flat Earth is this whole concept of a solid dome or a firmament way up in the sky over our heads. Just looking at the vastness of the sky, it is easy to doubt when you just consider the sheer size of it all.
But God can do it. Wink, wink.
Allow me to help make that firmament a little easier to believe in. Let us first consider the sheer size of the ocean. For someone who has never heard of the ocean before, might that be something a little difficult to believe in?
No.
Miles and miles of water in all directions, with no land in sight anywhere.
But the ocean makes sense. It's heavy and dense, so it is down low below the sky. But the firmament is hard and solid, yet for some reason you claim it is up there above.
Yeah, this lady's voice is kind of hurting my ears. I don't blame you, dude. This is going to be the last video for this live stream, don't worry. Yeah. I'm just going to do that flat earth stuff for a while. I'm going to see exactly what they think about everything.
Above the sky?
God, this woman's voice, I'm sorry. It's just, there's something about it that's, it's weird.
If it really is a matter of size and density, which should be harder to believe? A big solid dome that covers the entire Earth? Or an extremely dense and enormous sun that is as big as 1.3 million Earths? And yes, according to Universe Today, that is the actual claim as to how big the sun is.
I wouldn't necessarily say we were an accident. It just, the laws of physics, acting on an environment. It just happened. I don't know what to call it. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call it an accident. I mean, there were chemical reactions and all of a sudden life, and then a lot more things happened, and you have us. I mean, I don't know why you would call it an accident, but whatever. That's your opinion.
If size and scale is the issue, shouldn't that make the size of the sun 1.3 million times more difficult to believe in? Are you...
No.
Telling me you'd rather believe in an enormously massive Earth-swallowing fireball in the vacuum of space?
It's not fire. Oh my god. The sun is not fire. It's plasma. It's a superheated plasma.
Wow, I see your point. You know, another thing people have an issue with is the shape of the firmament. Many people claim the shape of the firmament is so unnatural. There is absolutely no way a shape like that could happen all by itself. The thing is, many people have an issue with it because if a firmament were to exist, then it would have to prove the existence of a divine creator.
Alright, we're more than a quarter way through the video, and there's been no evidence for the firmament, much less any observations, which, if you remember, that's what this video is called, Observations of the Firmament.
If someone's reason for not believing in a firmament is the existence of a divine creator, that sounds more like a personal issue than it does anything else.
The majority of people out there don't believe in a firmament. There is no way so many people could be wrong.
That's different. I know what you're saying, Anacito, but that's different. It's yeah.
That is actually an ad populum argument. It is a fallacious or faulty argument, also known as bandwagon reasoning. Just because a large number of people believe in something doesn't mean it is the case.
Well, most scientists say so.
Okay, now that is an ad populum mixed with an appeal to authority fallacy. Just because someone is a scientist or a doctor doesn't mean they are right.
All right. So, what evidence is there for this firmament that so many flat earthers are talking about?
Holy crap, we're gonna get the evidence, I think.
Well, there are two reasons why rockets have an arched trajectory. First, if they were to go too high, they would burn up in the atmosphere. There's a whole other video in the playlist all about that.
Well, maybe.
And secondly, if they were to go too high, they would smash into the firmament.
No. Okay, no. Okay. Let me try to explain this. I'm not that knowledgeable about it, but I know enough to know that he's wrong. Rockets go up, and then they turn sideways, matching the Earth's spin, so it is easier to get out into space.
Oddly enough, the US government did a series of tests back in the day called Operation Fishbowl. Interesting name, right? It has raised quite a few eyebrows in the flat earth community. The operation involved firing multiple nuclear missiles directly at the firmament. I'm going to show you some footage here. Please take note of the O shape that you see.
Yes, it does. Play out like a Sunday school. That's it.
Why would a nuke make that shape if it wasn't slamming into something?
Is it okay? Okay, there's a video on it.
Here is actual footage from Operation Fishbowl.
That's not Operation Fistball. So equivocating. That's not how it works.
Alright, so a water balloon isn't quite the same as a bomb going off. Let's watch some actual explosions happening.
What is it supposed to prove? I have no idea what this is supposed to prove. No idea at all. That first sign in the explosion we saw, it was just the bomb blowing up and dispersing. It wasn't... Wow. Wow.
All right. Gonna watch this explode in the water here before it touches the bottom.
Oh, God.
Spherical explosion, and then the force goes down and touches the bottom, and you can see the, oh, right there. Here's an explosion that hasn't smacked into anything. Now the force of the explosion is smacking against a solid surface, thus creating the ring effect.
Wow, I never saw that comparison before. I totally see it now.
Wow.
This explosion right here
Wonderful.
really does look like it's smacking against the surface and spreading out.
It may look like that, but it's not. Okay. No.
Now there's
Alright, let's watch the rest of this. This is the last video for this live stream. I will be doing more. Like I said, if you want to donate to me, my PayPal link is in the description, along with my other links, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, all that good stuff. So we're just gonna watch the rest of this video, and after it's over, I'm just gonna stop the live stream, cause I already did my outro. So
There's even further evidence after this, but we'll talk about that in another video.
Okay, I can't wait to see it.
Thank you for watching.